Karen, hi.
Hi, Trish.
I'm so excited to do the podcast this week with you.
I know. I'm so excited too because we have a really special guest,
We
special and yes, so special to you and someone I'm excited to meet.
I'm so excited to see. Okay, y'all, before we get into all that, you know what we're going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share the podcast because we get to now start bringing you great guests. Karen and I were not threatening when we said we're going to start having guests. We're going to get our act together and we're doing it for you. So this week we're having on someone very near and dear to my heart, my BFF, my ride or die, my emergency contact, Sabrina Soto. She will come on hot in just a second because that's how she and I roll. And I've wanted to have Karen and Sabrina finally meet because they're two of my favorite human beings that I talk to the most in my life. And shockingly, they've never met. So this is going to be a great episode for y'all to just get to know her. And I hope you enjoy it. We really do, don't we, Kay?
Yes, we do. And thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to us. We love y'all.
You're gonna be just who you are. You're gonna be just who you are. Don't let them sway you. No one can change you. You're gonna be just who you
Yes,
are.
I love Sabrina Soto dearly, ladies and gentlemen. This week, Karen Mills and I are very excited to have you on the podcast, Sabrina. I'm just starting because it'll never start if we don't.
Yes.
Sabrina Soto is on our podcast today. Karen, I am very excited because I know y'all haven't met in real life, but this is exciting times because I love you both so much and so dearly. And it's like the worlds are colliding and I'm joyful. So Sabrina Soto, welcome to What I Know So Far.
I thank you so much for having me, Karen. I feel like I know you because Trish talks about you all of the time.
Same. I feel like I know you, and I'm sure we'd be great friends if we both love Trish. Then we're going to love each other. So
yes, well, you're going to know me a lot after this podcast, so I'm just warning you.
Which I love, and that is another thing. It's you're right because Karen's in Chattanooga, Sabrina and I are here in Los Angeles, and I always say, when you are lucky enough to have amazing friends, and that some of your amazing friends would all love each other, it makes you bummed when you're not in one location, so everybody can just waller each other.
yeah.
And that's what we had to have Sabrina on because Sabrina's you are one of the people in my life that we talk every single day. Karen and I almost talk every single day. And I realized, how do we not all not talk? So we're going to go on the podcast.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody knows how great everyone
is. It's time for us all to come together right here for the listeners.
For the listeners.
And the YouTubers.
And for the YouTubers. So everybody knows. And I think what's so awesome about Karen, that Karen, I always say Karen can get along with the devil, but when Karen really likes somebody, Karen's like all in. But when she's not, it's a lot of, yeah. And Sabrina's the same.
Oh, great.
Oh yeah.
So if we both... You got it. I don't want to hear the mm-hms in this one. Okay. We're going to need you to just fake it.
Yeah, but you're the same way, Soto.
I am. Well, if my mouth doesn't say it, my face will.
Yeah. That same. And if we both get up and walk off screen and just leave it to Trish, then we'll know this just didn't work.
That's right. Good luck.
I'm so excited right now. This makes me so joyful. So yes, y'all have very similar personalities, which I love and adore. But I wanted most especially to have Sabrina on as a guest because Sabrina, in a totally different genre than comedy, obviously, who is she's a fabulous, let's just roll through it, host. If you don't know Sabrina Soto, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and say is her best friend and hype girl. Google her.
Actually,
maybe not. We're really working on kills.
Just go to sabrinasoto.com.
Back that part up. You're right.
Unfortunately, before a few years ago, I could say that and be okay, and just
she's
not
had
the case anymore.
Yeah, she's had some. What's the word I'm looking for? We'll cover it. She had some relationships that you wish you could put a photo kill / PR kill on, but you know what? We live and learn.
Not relationships, just one.
Yeah, relationship. I just put it out there like
just to be clear, everyone is already Googling.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I know I shouldn't have said anything.
Right.
The Barbara Streisand, what do they call it? The Barbara Streisand phenomenon, when she started talking about the pictures of her house and then nobody was going to look at it, but then the lawsuit made everyone look at it. That was what I
Wait,
just pulled.
I don't know that story, y'all.
Yes, she made a big like stink about somebody publishing pictures of her house, and it was all over the news. So now everyone saw pictures of her house, and if she would have just kept her mouth shut, nobody would have seen them. So it's called the Barbara Streisand effect, I think.
Oh, I was today years old.
I just learned something.
Me
yeah.
too. Thanks, Kay.
I may have just made that up, but
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're in. Now we're all Googling Barbara's house and forgot about Googling you.
you see, divert.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
And so that's the Soto diversion. That's
Yes.
what that's called.
Honey, she could really be a Navy SEAL. She asks questions and makes counter accusations, and like the next thing you know, you're like, "What's happened? What did I do?"
It's true.
You're so good like that.
I
But
know.
you are a master of a very of a ton of trades. You, first of all, Sabrina, if you don't know, designer, host. She is an amazing mama, if I must say
Thank
so.
you.
One of the
Products,
I was about to say rug line, podcaster, Target line. You name the thing. And if Soto, this is what I love about her so much, because Karen loves personal development and manifestation as much as we do, Sabrina. And if Sabrina thinks about it, she's a master manifester. You really are.
Thank you. I mean, I'm trying. I go through, it's up and down roller coaster. I have managed to do a lot of things. Not OnlyFans yet.
Please don't do an OnlyFans. What would your
Never
OnlyFans
say
be?
never.
You cleaning?
Never. You look. There's an audience for everything.
You're not
Well,
wrong.
they've Googled you now, so we'll see what the OnlyFans want.
Send me a DM. Let me know what you want the account to be.
Oh my gosh, my stomach hurts already, and we're 5 minutes into the show. This is amazing. Girls, I'm in. Yeah, you really are a magic manifester. And I think one of the best stories, Karen, I know you've told it at nauseum, Sabrina, but it is one of my all-time favorite stories. Will you tell the manifestation story of how you got your first HGTV show?
Yeah. So it's sort of crazy because I, at the time, had no connections in, I don't want to say Hollywood. That sounds so weird, but in
the biz.
And I was watching this documentary, which at the time was not on Oprah. It wasn't big. It was called The Secret, which everybody knows what that is now. But back then you could only watch it on the internet, and you had to pay $4.95 to download it. And I did. And I just had something come over me of I wanted to be on TV and I wanted to do something creative.
And tell them what you were doing at the time, because I think that's
I was
important.
doing mortgages and staging at the time. I was making a good amount of money working out of my house, and I was miserable.
Yep.
I remember being on this lunch in line at Baja Fresh in like the lunch rush of everybody in the offices, like waiting to get their burritos.
That's old
And I
school
just
Chipotle
remember-
for people
Yeah.
that don't know.
They're still around, Baja Fresh.
Oh, but outside of California.
Oh, right. And I just remember looking around, just going, I don't belong here. Like, this is not my life, even though it made no sense, Karen, because I had a good life.
Yeah,
and
I
for
get it.
the most part, everybody be happy living that life, working out of your house, being flexible and making good money. And I just knew I didn't want to do this anymore. I watched the documentary, fell asleep that night, thought I heard the doorbell ring at 4:00 in the morning, got up out of bed. I was married at the time. I told my husband I thought there was somebody at the door, and he made me get out of bed. I'm divorced, but anyway.
Google her.
Google her.
And then I was like, well, I couldn't go back to bed. And so I went on Craigslist, and there was an ad looking for a designer who had TV experience. And so I'd had some design work. I'd been on TV years before, and I was like, screw it. I sent it out. 16 weeks later, I was on set filming my first series for HGTV, which is wild. Craigslist.
And thank God it was a real Craigslist post, and she wasn't being human trafficked. I mean, that's the best part of that story.
That's true, but I probably would have made money too. But you just never know how things are going to go on Craigslist. It's also a roller coaster.
It is a wild ride.
Wow, that's awesome.
Isn't that a great
story? Yeah,
I mean,
great story.
And that she got up and genuinely went to the door, and then her next, like, let me go and just get on. The next thing in her mind was, let me get on the computer and check.
But what I think the magic of what I did then was not, it was, yes, of course, responding to that Craigslist ad, but I'd sent the submission out, but I didn't hear anything back for a while. But after starting that day, I started working out as if I was getting ready to be on TV. I was eating differently. I wasn't drinking. I was just almost training myself to get myself into the best position I could be in. So when the opportunity came, I was ready for it. But if you looked at me from the outside, if you were my friend or my husband at the time, I looked crazy. I looked delusional. Like I had nothing to hang my hat on. I was just knowing inside that it was coming. And I know for a fact that's the magic of how to get and manifest everything to this day. You have to feel it inside that it's coming rather than just saying it. Affirmations only work if you feel it in your soul.
And Karen and I talk about this, and Sabrina, you and I talk about this. It really is, and it sounds so hokey when you, like you just said, delusional. When you say it to someone else and they're not in line with what I'm about to say, they're like, yeah, must be nice, chick. Like what you're waiting for, what you're wanting, no one else wants. Like, even though we all work in entertainment, none of us want the exact same thing. None of the three of us want the same thing. And when what you want and the frequency that you're at match and you're at the exact same, like what you want is already there. It exists. It sounds whack-a-doodle to say this out loud. It's just when you believe that you are and acting as if and moving in the space of that's when it all just shows up. And it sounds absolutely crazy britches to say, but it's true.
Yeah, but it's also, and Karen, like my life hasn't been linear, or it's been uphill. There's been ups and downs. And even now I almost have to smack myself in the face when I'm feeling like, oh, there aren't enough opportunities. The economy sucks, blah, blah, blah. I have to realize I can make my own economy. I could get myself out of this rut. So even to this day, after years and years of practicing this and knowing it, I still have to get reminded. I still have to remind myself. I still have to continue to learn and to put myself into situations where they be retreats or books or podcasts in order to continue to ingest this information, or else you forget it. Because you get into the herd mentality.
And you have to practice it. You can't just know it. You have to practice it. And it's just like you said, that's digging your ditches. That's what you did. You did everything to prepare, so as if you had it. That's and right. When it came your way, you were ready. So I'm a big believer in that.
It is. It's the seed planting and going, like, I always use, but I don't know. I'm so sure somebody famous has said it and I'm just reiterating it, but it's literally like when we order something from Amazon. I never sit and go, oh Lord, I hope that shows up. I add to cart, I pay for it, and I know it's on its way. You're like, oh, I hope, crossing fingers, maybe it won't. Well, if you got porch pirates, it might not. But for the most part, don't you? You order something and it is on the way, and our life is no different. And we all get out of the practice because we start, whatever that imposter syndrome shows up. I'm too old. I'm too this. There's not enough to go around. Beep, bop, and boop. And I always say Sabrina is a master at it. And we do sit and remind each other quite often because I think that's what really great friends do.
That's right.
That's right.
You never sit and think, well, there's not enough, or you don't help somebody else shine. I can't tell you how many times she has cussed me, and I'm sure y'all hear the outtakes of this show where she was cussing me right when we came on because my hair is a little crazy, and she's protective is what it is. But I was looking extra. But we both really do remind each other constantly that nothing, like anything you want is yours and nothing can be taken. And I think it's really quite powerful that we really don't waver from that. And Sabrina's a unbelievable friend in that regard to all of her friends. And
thank you.
You are. And the queen.
But I would also tell you if you had a booger in your nose.
I was about to say, asterisk scroll down. She is the queen of no filter. There is no filter on Soto except on Instagram.
Karen, if Trish had a booger in her nose, would you tell her?
Yes.
I didn't ask you.
I would,
asked
yes.
Karen.
Yes, okay. I would. I would. But I might wait a few minutes.
For what? What are you waiting for?
To see if I caught it. If I caught it.
Yeah.
Nobody captures their own boogers. They don't see it.
I would be like, if she goes to the bathroom, she may see it herself. But if she comes back and she doesn't see it, then I'm going to have to tell her. I'm not going.
And how many people she walked from to the bathroom did she run into and saw that booger?
No. If we were somewhere where people were seeing the booger, I would have to.
Okay. That is true. Yeah. Karen will get you like that. But Karen and I joke. Karen will tell you right now, it's one of my favorite sayings because Karen is one of the sweetest people. This is the sweetest people. She has a real hard time, as Karen says. You have to say, quit in the gym.
Yeah, I can't quit the gym.
You have to tell Sabrina.
Wait, what's quit the gym mean?
Anything that feels confrontational, anything like to quit the gym. I don't know, like on a Friends episode, Chandler couldn't quit the gym because they'd talk him out of it, and they'd bring out somebody else, some pretty girl to keep him
in his
quitting.
contract.
So Ross went with him, and Ross ended up joining the gym. I mean, nobody could quit the gym, and that's me. It's so hard for me to sever a business relationship. I mean, I always say I have growing up in the South, I have no conflict resolution skill. I mean, somebody can do me wrong, and I'm like, I can't believe you did that. But you're not mad at me, are you? I mean, we're good. So that, yeah. So it's a real issue.
I'm a Cuban Capricorn from New Jersey.
Good for you.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
She does the beat bop boop. She'll come at you with a fist, and I can't even do the move so fast. She is the opposite.
Karen, I'm not passive aggressive. I'm aggressive aggressive. So
I'm telling you, that's why
hopefully I'll rub off on you.
I was about to say,
I need a little bit of it for sure.
We
Just write me a list of the people I need to call on your behalf. I'll take care of it. I'll be like your hit woman.
Yeah. I need one.
By the way, that would be an amazing service.
Yeah.
Sabrina, don't step over this $1 billion idea.
That's what people should hire me on Cameo, not to say happy birthday. Yeah. To I'll break up with people.
Yes.
I'll fire people.
100%.
No problem. No sweat off my back.
Yes, she would be tickled to death if she woke up in the morning to a list of emails of you're fired. Okay. Yeah, I'm breaking up with you. We no longer need your services. You're not a good friend. Sabrina's like, I've knocked out 63 bad relationships today. Soto.
Yeah.
That's a $1 billion idea.
I'm like, if I had to fire someone, I would close my business and move to a land far, far away. I mean, that's how difficult it is for me.
Oh boy.
So yes, I could use that Cameo, but if I went on for someone, then I would end up paying their bills, or saying it's not you, it's her.
Well, Karen, you're going to go to heaven.
Oh, for sure.
Let me know how it is up there.
Yeah. We'll send you an iced tea.
Oh, girl, you assumed you were going.
Oh, honey, I'm going to be right there. I'm on the list.
Okay. I know the real Trish.
I'm telling you. You know.
Oh, honey, you're going to be in purgatory for a little while.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think so. I think I'll be right on
okay.
it. There might be a confusion of how to spell my name, but it will be me. It's just as S-U-H-R. Okay.
Yeah. Check the list again.
Just
I'm
one more
sure
time.
I'm on it.
Yeah. No, it's not a +1. Just me. Thank you. Oh, girl. I mean, this is why you have to understand. This is why I love Sabrina so very much. And I will say, though, for somebody that has no problem, this is the hard part with me. Let's discuss that, Sabrina. I'm about to tell you. Slow your roll. With Sabrina, she's no problem speaking, obviously her mind or saying something to somebody, but she's a real hard time hyping herself. You really do. I'll be like, girl, your rug line. By the way, if you aren't getting her rugs right now, we'll put a link. Well, they'll be in the show notes. The links are there. Her rugs are from heaven. I love them. I have them all in the house. We're actually getting new ones for outside. That's one. But two, when you do stuff, even your great, she did a gratitude journal, a mommy and me gratitude journal.
Yeah, they're right there.
See, do you see what I'm saying? But she'll say it to me. It's launching, and she'll go, "Hey, oh yeah, they're coming out tomorrow." Why wouldn't you? I would be hyping. I love being a hype girl.
You know what I think it is? It's also in our business, and Karen, I think you could attest to this. It's so many people are full of. Are we allowed to curse?
Yes, of course.
So many people in this business are full of shit, and everyone says, "Oh, we're going to do this project, whatever." And then you get excited and you tell people, and then it never comes to fruition. And then everybody thinks you're full of shit because you told all your friends and family. So I just wait until the end. I wait until the end, until it's in front of me and it's happening until before I tell anybody.
Well, that's fair. That is fair. But I feel like once it's done, I'm the same way. When I got this show, you know how scared I was to even say anything because I was like, might not get it, might get it, might not. That's different. I completely respect that because we've been I always joke that I don't believe a TV show is real until the slate clacks in front of my face.
I don't even believe that because I've filmed things that never aired.
Oh, yeah. No, I just mean the paycheck. I know at least the paycheck will clear.
Well, I've actually not been paid for things too.
That's true. Preach on that. That is a true thing. That is true. I don't usually say anything till I know. That's like, that is a weird, I don't want to say superstition, but it's what it is of our business. So
it is a superstition with in my Cuban culture too. Like you don't tell anybody anything until it's done. My mom is very, very much behind that.
Well, I love that about Maria.
I think, it loses energy if it starts being told too much before it's actually before something's actually certain.
I agree. That is not, I'm saying like the woman has a rug line.
Yeah.
She has
girl.
Okay, the girl.
I like the girl.
We'll take you back. She's a fetus, everybody. Look at that skin, do we? The girl has a rug line that I would be hyping every other story on stories, and she's like, "Oh yeah, by the way." So that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better.
No, you do have to. It'd be like us not telling anyone we were doing a show.
Thank you.
I mean, that's different than having an idea and not sure it's going to come to fruition.
That's right.
Thank
you,
Karen.
Kay.
Thank you, Karen.
Sorry, it's Kay and little K sometimes. She goes by 43 names, but thank God she answers to them all.
Special K, little K.
Special K, honey, little K, our little K.
Special K is a drug, isn't it?
I think it's a cereal, but okay.
Oh, but it's also a drug.
Oh, am I that? Oh,
I am addictive, I must say.
Leave it to Sabrina
to
say it's a drug. And Karen's like, yes, I'm that special and sweet. We're going with it. Kay's a drug.
Yes.
Reasons I love her.
So
I want you to also talk about because we've talked about it a lot, Karen and I have, and I think you'd add beautifully to this conversation. We're talking about like things you pivot to and not being just known for one thing. Because Sabrina, because y'all have Googled her, she's amazing designer, amazing. But you do so much more than just that. And we've been talking about lately about this, I don't want to say second act in life. That sounds ridiculous, but it is like when you're lucky enough to work in a business and then what it looks like to pivot into something else. Like I just said to Karen yesterday, I mean, I'll be as transparent as possible. We're talking about like just what we do. And I said, I don't think people know who I am sometimes. It's like, does she sell an RV? Is she a comedian? Like, what does she do?
But why can't you be all of it?
Well, you can. I think what I was saying is you just want to make it clear so you can be all of it. You just want people to understand when they come to you, here are the things you can do, right? And we were talking, you and I, Sabrina and I were talking about it as well in the sense of when you want to pivot, it's trusting the fact that you are meant to do it, or it wouldn't even be in your heart to do. It's not like you've just got some wackadoodle idea to do a pivot, and you've just done a beautiful, I think, job of setting that up. Because Sabrina, you can do anything you want to do, but talk about what that looks like for you, because it's a shift.
Well, it's a shift, but it's also what I've always wanted to do is be more into the motivational space, but then got into HGTV. And of course, as we all know, when you get busy and you're on set, all of the other sort of passion projects that you want to do sort of take a back seat. And that's why I started my podcast 5 years ago, is because I wanted to talk about things other than fucking pillows. Sorry, bleep that.
We'll bleep that. We just became an explicit episode, Karen. Our first explicit episode had to do with throw pillows. Who knew?
Bleep that. But I just wanted to talk about things that I was passionate about. I came from nothing. And we got evicted from our house when I was 17 years old. I didn't even have a house to live in. And it's very ironic that I went from living on people's sofas to creating beautiful houses for celebrities' families. And the road to get here, I'm no special than anyone else. I want to motivate other people, especially women, especially minority women, into knowing that they can have it all. So I created the podcast, which has been, thank God, successful. And
Redesigning Life. It's on anywhere you get a podcast. Okay.
Anywhere. And also just finished writing a book, which hopefully will be coming out, and creating retreats for women and doing other things, and still living my design life. I still film design projects. But I was in that crossroads of like, what if I don't want, like, do I have to go down one road or the other? And I realized there's not a fork in the road. The fork in the road is, we made that up.
That's right.
We think that we have to do one or the other. We could do both. We can have it all.
And I don't know if y'all have listened to the episode, and I just forgot the name of her podcast. Forgive me. It's Julia Louise-Dreyfus's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Can't think
That's
of the name.
Wiser Than Me.
Wiser Than Me. Thank you, Karen. Karen is wiser than me. It is such a great podcast if you've not listened to it, but she did the episode with Jane Fonda, which if you
Loved
haven't
it.
listened to, yes, we'll link it below because it is that good.
Yes.
And Jane Fonda talked about doing a life audit of herself in her 80s, which I was like, go girl. And she's like, I realized I'm on my third act. Like, this is my third act. And what do I want that to look like? And it made me realize we do need to all sit down and kind of do an audit on the good, the bad, and the ugly, and be really honest with yourself and realistic, and look at, like, who do I really want to be? And there's an amazing TED Talk, which we'll put there too, by a woman named Ashley Stahl, S-T-A-H-L.
Oh my gosh, she's my friend.
Stop it right now.
Honey, I told you I just talked to her on the phone last week, but we could talk about that later.
I might have had a stroke. I'm so sorry. I've been doing
She's
the most.
amazing.
Amazing. Have you listened? You've obviously listened to her TED Talk.
Yeah, she was on my podcast too.
I missed that episode. Why don't I have that episode?
She's fantastic.
Sorry, I listened
Hi,
to almost.
Ashley. Shout out, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. We adore you, Karen. I'm going to send you this podcast because it's phenomenal. But it's this insane podcast. TED Talk. If you haven't seen it, we're going to link it so you can see it. But it's all about, like, figuring out what you really want. And she says the very simple sentence, which she wrote in the top of you'll listen to the podcast and get it. But she wrote, and I might jack this up, Ashley, so forgive me, but that just simply across the top, she wrote, how am I kidnapping myself? Like, how am I technically holding myself hostage from the life that I want? And when you say something that simple and you go, oh, what? Like, it's a really powerful thing to have to, unpack or pick that scab of yourself.
And we're all doing it.
We're all doing it.
We're all doing it. You know what I started seeing, Karen, too? I would start making progress in something that I wanted to create, and then I would just throw a grenade right in the beginning, like in my life. Let me just screw this up because I don't think subconsciously I deserve to create that.
Don't even get me started.
Yes, get you started.
No, get you started, Karen. Tell me you do that too, so I don't feel alone.
Yes, I do. I mean, it's a whole other episode, but my appearance, for America's Got Talent was total self-sabotage.
You've got to tell the story, though.
Tell me the story.
Tell the story. It's so good.
Well, it's very involved. I don't want to take up all the time, but
it's great.
But I knew I got to America's Got Talent, and I'm the kind of comic that I think could do well on there because I'm a quick setup punchline kind of comic, and that's what you have to have in terms of the time that you're allotted. But when I got there, what I didn't realize that it's also a backstory competition, and I'm an ovarian cancer survivor. I felt like we're going to go in, we're going to tell my cancer story. I'm going to go out, do my bit, and go from there. And when I got there and talked to the producers, and I was interviewed over and over again, and I could see them guiding my story. They were wanting to decide what my story is going to be. And they wanted to go somewhere I wasn't prepared to go yet. And I knew that I was going to have to talk about it if I got through the first round. And I did not. And so the whole time I'm on stage, I'm talking to the celebrity judges. I literally froze, and my mind was so not in the moment. And Simon said, "You're boring." And he was right. He said, "Your material's not." He said, "You walk out here, you're boring. You did your material. That was good, but now you're boring again." And I was just standing there frozen, and because my mind was not anywhere in that theater, I was sitting there thinking, I can't advance. If I advance, I'm going to have to address something I'm not ready to address.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone's going to tell the story, my story of where I grew up and personal things about me, it's going to be me. It's not going to be America's Got Talent.
Boom.
Yeah.
I'll tell the story. And I'm working on a book now that will include the whole
enchilada.
So Karen, at this point, as we speak now, you've never told your full story that you weren't willing to tell on that show.
That's correct.
Okay.
And so, and it's not that it's that big a deal, but I'm not prepared in this moment
Right.
to open up that far, but
Yeah.
it's coming. And I just knew in that moment that, I mean, I looked like an amateur and I could have done well on there, I think, but I knew that they wanted to tell that story the way they wanted to tell it. And I was not going to allow it because it would not have been truthful.
Yeah.
Here I was there watching her
Trish was there.
in different seats, right? So I'm watching as a friend. I'm out there in that audience. She killed. Like that was the other. It was
Ew, if Simon told my friend that she was boring,
I was about to
would've-
come unglued. Oh, girl, I was in the balcony when
I'm a noogie.
honey, if I wasn't in the balcony above him, he would have fallen off his chair. Trust and believe. I was ready to assassinate Simon Cowell.
Karen, did you start crying?
No, I didn't. I was so removed. I was like somewhere else. And it just, I didn't even hardly respond. I'm just like, I even said, I don't have anything to say.
Yes, she actually said, I have nothing to say. And I'll tell you what was really interesting in the seats I sat in. It was because I knew producerally what was occurring. Like I'm sitting in different seats. As a comic, she destroyed, wasn't worried about the material, wasn't worried about her as a comic. As a producer, I went, oh, this is a battle of backstory in my mind because I already was kind of aware of how things were being positioned. And I instantly saw Karen check out of the reindeer games that in the seats I sat in. Do you know what I mean? Like I genuinely went, she's not going to do this for the, what it takes to be on the show, not the skill set of being a comic. So I just saw this like removal, if you will, when you see someone just be like, I'm disinterested because the stakes changed.
It's almost like the circle I was standing in, the walls came up from the stage and encircled me. And I'm like, hell no, you're not in charge of this. So I just didn't care to move on because it mattered that much to me.
Okay, wait, I have sorry.
I love that she raised her hand. Yes. Go, Sabrina.
So Karen,
Sabrina.
So looking back at this situation, because I think that would have broken a lot of people, do you regret anything at that? Or do you feel like it played out the way it was supposed to for your destiny?
No, I think it played out the way it's supposed to for my destiny. I learned a lot from it, and I had to face a lot of things, but I don't regret that America's Got Talent was not the place.
Yeah.
And so I did not regret one moment of that, but it really made me go inside and wrestle that demon.
Yeah.
And so now I feel very, very different about my story. But as I said, I'm working on a book now, and it has the whole enchilada in it, and it'll be told in the way that's from my heart and is truthful.
Are you allowed to say what the book is called?
Oh, well, see, I'm an ovarian cancer survivor, and I was in a serious car accident that broke my neck and fractured my back, broke my sternum, crushed my upper body. And I've also had an ovarian recurrence. So I've had ovarian cancer, then a recurrence, and then a car accident that I'm lucky to survive. So the book is going to be called Hard to Kill.
I love that.
Isn't that fantastic?
But
I'm sitting on
it's
my
also
hands.
but it's also hard to kill. You know, I was also told I was too small to play basketball. So it comes.
She's a Hall of Fame basketball player, just so you know.
I apply that to hard to kill my spirit, hard to kill my dreams, hard to, you know.
And she's a killer comic, and she kills. Okay.
I love this.
Yeah. So anyway, but in that book and in that is all the story of my life and all the good, the bad, and the ugly. But it's coming from my voice, and I didn't want anyone twisting that.
Yes.
To be told a different way, and I don't
That's
regret
right.
1 second.
But imagine, Karen, how many other people in your shoes would have taken that and just sold their soul, and not because of any other reason rather than being naive, and their life would have been a completely different way. Like you could have. I think a lot of people in your shoes would have just allowed it because you wanted to continue to move forward in that competition, and you didn't. You didn't, and you stuck up for yourself in such a huge way that it's why you're where you are now. That's wild.
And what's wild, Simon didn't know, or the judges didn't know, that I was sticking up for myself. They didn't realize what was going on. To them, I just blew it. But it was okay. I knew. Now, I did feel bad for Trish and Christy and all my friends, Janie, that were there, because they had to come out after that and go, "Oh, you are wonderful."
You were wonderful.
You know, and cheer me on like, "You just blew."
I see. That's so funny that was your mindset. My thought was, I sat, and honest to God, I'll never forget it, Kay. I really thought she just destroyed. And there was this weird moment where I watched you, and I'm going to use the word check out's the wrong word, but it was as if you were like, yeah, I'm not doing all that. I just watched your body language. I don't know if it's because I've known you as long as I have. I know you on stage, and you absolutely destroyed, and then instantly went into, yeah, I'm not doing all this. And I saw you do it. And I thought,
And by the way, I mean, I don't know the comedy world at all, obviously, but if your material was fantastic, what does it matter who you are off stage?
Well, and what I thought after I walked off stage, what I should have said is just said, "Simon, I'm getting a strong feeling that you don't want to hang out later." I mean, I don't.
yeah,
know.
right.
I mean, who cares if I'm boring?
Yeah,
Exactly. I'm not asking you to sleep with me. Good Gertie. I mean, it's what's so funny. And ironically, I just listened to an episode. If you don't listen, you guys, can you tell I listen to podcasts all the time? Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett. We talk about it before.
It's diary. Yes. It sounded like you said diarrhea.
Diary.
It,
Sorry,
it sounded like diarrhea.
Oh my God. Y'all.
I don't want people going to the wrong podcast.
Nope. And if that exists, I'm frightened. But
Well,
diary,
everyone's Googling him.
yeah. Poor Stephen Bartlett. Stephen, sir, you angel. I said diary of a CEO. Good Lord. Anyway, he just interviewed Simon Cowell, and it was a 2-hour episode. And this was what I was about
I bet
to
he
say.
was boring.
No, let me tell you something. I thought, I don't think of him either way. My only thought process is how he did Karen. Genuinely. Like, I know he was on American Idol. I don't really care for him. You know what I mean? And I thought, fine, I'll listen to it. Y'all, I adore Simon Cowell now. It's really,
Okay.
and Karen, in 2020, he was in an accident that broke his back, and it has changed his life, and he is a different human being. And it's,
Karen, you should call him.
no, believe me, when you hear this whole story, and he comes from nothing, and he was not educated, and he not bright. And when you listen to this whole story, you go, and what year was that, Kay, that you did AGT? 2017?
17.
I think so. Okay. And so to obviously now hear who he is now, and right around that time ish was when his, I believe I might be getting the date off a bit, but was when his father passed away, and he was in like a downward spiral of just couldn't have been mean enough, couldn't have been. And it's so interesting because I was listening to it from those seats, right? Of like, I don't care, you still do my friend dirty, you butthole. Like I was in that, like, and you listen to it and you go, whoa. And when it's the perfect example of you never know what anybody's going through, right?
It's very true. And not only that, I was never really angry at Simon because I felt like it made me look at something I need to look at. So I'm a big believer in things happening, even if it embarrassed me at the moment, even, it really was for my higher good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to see that though. Looking back at all of the things that have sort of broken my soul, I realize it all happened for a reason. But when you're in it, Karen, when you're in it and you're standing there on stage, it's really hard to be like, hey, this is happening for me.
No,
it's like
it didn't happen when I stand on stage. It took a little time to get some distance from it. But, Simon or whoever it is, life has a way of kicking you in the teeth, and then you have to come back down to earth no matter, and it sounds like he has gone through some things that have brought him back to more humble place.
Yes, I was about to say, I don't want to wish anything ill on anybody, but it was one of those karmic moments that you want. Good for you, sir. Like when you listen to this episode, I was like, okay, I'm going to ask Sabrina, what is the thing for you that you felt like I've got to, like, I don't want to say crossroads. That sounds so dramatic, but can you pinpoint something for you that you just went, yeah, I'm about to do this all differently? Like,
oh my God, there's not one time. There's been so many freaking pivotal moments in my life, personally, in relationships, and in my career. I wish that there's like one thing that would come to mind, but I feel like I've had to pull myself up so many times in my life. But what I realized is that it gets easier and easier. It just, I think the first time that I had something catastrophic taken away from me, it was, I thought like life ending and soul crushing. And now I feel like the more I move through this life, the more tools I put in my toolbox, that I have more to go to when things break. I just have more tools in the box when things break. Whereas before it was empty. It was just a box maybe with like a hammer that was rusty.
Do you feel like that age has made it, that made it easier?
I'm 29 now, so
Yeah,
Let me
right.
rephrase this. Experience. Does experience make you?
No, just kidding. No, yes, of course. And I feel so much more mature and patient now at 40. I'm going to be 48 this year. I also think motherhood changed me a lot.
Sure.
And I just think that there's been so much change in my life.
You also put in the work. I
keep putting the work. Karen, I have done every modality out there. I even paid a man $121 to spit vodka in my hair. And he asked me to rub my vagina with an egg so that I can get cleansed. It just, so you know, don't go to him because it didn't work. It's true.
Definitely an explicit episode, everybody. We're doing great.
I just said vagina. Vagina is a body part.
Yeah,
That's right.
You're okay. No, I just meant the poor guy spitting vodka.
Is that what we'll see if we Google you? I don't know.
That was before social media. Thank God. By the way, thank God a lot of the things I did were before social media, but I have done a lot. I go to retreats. I do everything I could get my hands on that's not going to really hurt me or hurt anyone else. I will try it. I'm like the spiritual guinea pig of my friends because I will try it and I'll let you know if it works. So I put in the work and a lot of things works. A lot of things don't, as I said, but I still look forward to trying many more things because I'm not a guru. I'm just the girl next door that's on the road trip of life. And I'm just maybe like a few exits in front of you. And I'll tell you where to stop and where to keep going.
That is so true. Well said, you.
Yes.
Thank you.
We love everything about that.
I mean, I even tell you what good strapless bra to buy.
Let me tell you, and she did. We'll link that below too, y'all. Now, the truth of that one, though, is it is an underwire. I'm not a big fan. I don't think those are good for you. But this bra does not move. I have waited my whole life for a strapless bra that does not take off and you're having to do the yank and grab. And Sabrina's like, not gatekeeping this one. I'm like, thank you, boo. Because
I will share all of the information.
She really does. You really do. That's what makes you like the ultimate best friend and really good friend. Because if you're lucky enough to know you, I think what's so super, well, there's a million things, but what makes you so super special is you make everyone feel important. You don't go, okay, bye. Like you're not that. You've never been
not
that.
Everybody.
You guys.
I have a list of people. I don't.
There are people she has voted off an island.
So I did this retreat last year. It's called Hoffman. It's 7 days. You're disconnected and
they take your phone.
It's 7 days of really, really intense, just journaling and work and workshops. And one of the questions they asked the entire group of 40 people is they were talking about ways that you're mean on purpose and things that you do that are hurtful. And it was like a whole speech about how to really recognize that in yourself. And then they asked the whole group, is there anything that you do that you know that you're actually doing it to push people's buttons? And I raised my hand. I was like, yeah, if somebody's really getting on my nerves, I'll call them by their wrong name constantly. So it's like Karen, I'll be like, hey, Kathy. And you're gonna be like, it's Karen. I'll be like, all right, Kathy. And I'll do that on purpose over and over just to let you know that you're worthless. And everybody in the room was like, excuse me? And I was like, too far? Was that too shared too much? Okay, overshared. I'm just kidding. I don't do that.
She learned a lot. Every time she was like, you guys, I'm going to come back totally changed from Hoffman.
No. My sister asked for a refund.
Yes. Her sister was like, can we actually get a money back? Because this was
real change you don't see, Trish. Real change is on the inside.
Oh, is that what we're doing? I mean to say.
I mean, they didn't give you a lobotomy.
No, good Lord, no. What did you have to do? They made you, what was it? The funeral. That's what killed me too. Who did the funerals?
There was a lot of stuff that we had to do in those 7 days.
And I was like,
it was amazing. I loved the experience. And it really, for me, I didn't realize how much inner child work I had to do and healing, and it really helped with that. But I feel like we are all so complicated as people. It's not one size fits all for everyone, but I feel like for the most part, we all have some inner child work to do. I think across the board.
Well, I think to me, it's like kind of overcorrected with Gen Z, and then God knows what we're going to get with Gen Alpha, which is Olivia, your daughter's generation. But I feel like our generation, Gen X, like kind of, and millennials, we all just kind of were figure it out. Like you aren't really, so we didn't really get asked about our feelings. So we're all just trying to figure out our feelings. Feelings. What are they? Somebody was smoking and ashing in your eggs going, it adds flavor. You're like, what?
Yeah, it's true.
Get over it. So I think we all are just trying to figure out how to not like put our stuff on others in this world. That's the most you can ask for, is that you're aware enough to not put your shenanigans on somebody else, or at least try.
I saw someone post on social media the other day, said, when I was a kid, I died one time and my mom made me walk it off.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. That's what I did.
That's 3 Gen Zers sitting right here going, yep, sounds accurate.
Yes,
Millennials would have been like, not too off par. And Gen Z would literally be like, oh my gosh, why? Yeah. That's horrible. Your parents were rough. It's like, listen.
But I love that we are more open. I'm obviously more open with Olivia than my mom was with me, but we went and watched Inside Out 2, which I highly recommend last night. And I love that even there's dialogue around emotions and feeling them and seeing what happens when you let one override another. I mean, we never had that. We had freaking Bambi her mom getting burned in some forest fire.
Yeller.
God, that was traumatic.
I never saw it. Was it good?
No. Oh, no. The dog gets shot. There, we'll tell you.
You don't
Why did because he had rabies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean.
Yeah, but a children's movie that
here, children, gather around. We're going to shoot the dog in the head.
I'll leave a movie if the dog's going to die. Yeah. And now. So I sure, as a child, don't want to see the dog.
Karen, Sabrina makes fun of me about animals. Like, she has a dog. She loves her dog. But Karen and I are the same nut jobs over animals.
Yeah,
Sabrina.
We're nuts.
Fruit Loops. We're Fruit Loops.
It's a little much.
Yeah, and over everybody else's dog. I don't think
anybody. Do you do
anybody.
This though, where you pretend to have I'll go to the house. She'll be like, "Oh, look at dude. He's just like, oh, look at him. He's so embarrassed because he got a bad haircut." I'm like, "No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Like, stop it, Trish." And she's like, "He does. Look at him. He's just feeling so proud. Let me give him a treat." I'm like, "Oh."
Just again, everybody, I'd like you to know this is my best friend.
Yeah. And I'm cut from that cloth. I have to admit.
Thank you, Kay.
Because I give voice to as a comedian.
We animate our animals.
We do. We animate them. We give voice to them. That's part of
really
the fun,
hilarious, guys.
That's part of the fun.
Yep, sure is fun. Having so much fun listening to both of you guys give voices to your pets.
I mean, and by the way, what's even funnier is Olivia's like that. So Sabrina has an 8-year-old that's like, okay, like
she would think that you're crazy too.
Well, we enjoy our crazy. We're going to ask you some fast questions real quick before you go, and here you go. There's some fun ones and some good ones. One, I already know this, but do you hang your toilet paper over or under?
Over, but I used to do under, and I'll tell you there's a reason for it, because there was no seam to the toilet paper, so it was seamless. So it was more modern to do it the other way.
I love that she's trying to pretend that there's seamless toilet paper. There's seamless toilet paper?
No, like if you put the seam on the inside,
you don't have to see it.
You don't see the seam, so it's more of a modern, clean touch. So if I'm staging a house, it'll be on the inside.
Y'all, today years old, that just makes zero sense. Karen's reason's the best reason for in the under.
What is it?
Because I had a cat, and if it was over, unroll the whole roll. Yeah, and so I started putting it under so that it could stay on the toilet paper.
Yeah, Trish, it doesn't make sense. Like if it's under, then the seam's on the inside, so you just see clean toilet paper.
Yeah, but then you get dipsticks that don't know how to rip it, and then it's jagged.
It's for staging if you want to clean.
Okay, clean. Everybody, pro tip: if you're staging a house, Soto's got you. Toilet paper on the under.
If you're actually living in your house, that's another story.
Yeah, if you're living there over, don't.
I just put it on sideways on the top of the empty cardboard.
Yeah, I just set it on the back of the toilet.
Oh, classy! You make a mitten. It's fine.
It's all wet inside.
Shoes on or off in the house?
Oh God, off.
Sabrina's very big on that. I know that.
Not an animal.
What do you listen to in the car, or do you listen to anything?
Podcasts.
What's your favorite podcast?
It depends. Sarah Prout has a great one. The Law of Attraction Changed My Life's another great one.
And Francesca Amber, we love you.
I'll listen to Audible. So right now I'm listening to Bob Proctor's Ultimate Library. It is so good.
Bob Proctor, he's an OG.
Rest in peace.
No, the OG personal development. If y'all want to listen to some Bob Proctor.
It's good.
Sabrina does not. She is dating someone now that works in sports, thank God. But I was about to ask you what your walk-up song would be in baseball. You know, when they walk up to bat, Sabrina?
Yeah.
They have a walk-up song. What would your walk-up song be? We've just taught her sports. That's why this is important.
Is it weird if it's I love you just the way you are?
It's usually a little something more.
A little more inspirational, like all night long.
Motivational.
Motivational.
You know? Yeah.
I'm still standing.
There you go.
There you
You wrote
go.
that song. All right.
Yeah. I might go back to Billy Joel at one point.
You could change it. Maybe Uptown Girl. I don't know. That's where you're hitting the ball. Uptown. I don't know. I've tried. Okay. That was a good one. What book are you listening / reading to right now?
Bob Proctor. The ultimate. Yeah. Amazing.
What's it called? Do you know the book?
Well, it's his ultimate library. So it's they put together his books and all of his
Talks?
seminars.
Oh,
it's amazing. And then of course a creative visualization. I have my book club on
girl.
this.
I'm with Sabrina's.
Beep, boop, bop, boop.
Everybody, I'm in Sabrina's book club. I will
So
be there later
Yes,
this
don't
evening.
forget. You better be there.
We have a live.
I don't have. I'm not reading it now, but I've read that.
It's so good.
Oh yeah, so good.
Such a great book, y'all. We're holding it up if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're on the podcast, it's the Creative Visualization book, which we will link below, and Sabrina's book club will link below. And then, what kind of music do you clean to?
I don't.
You don't put music on when
You don't clean, or you don't.
Oh,
She's a clean freak.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I listen usually. I need to listen to more music. This is a thing. I need to start playing more.
You
I need
used
to
to.
stop using every freaking moment to learn and learn and learn. It's like, it's the Capricorn in me. So, but if I love a yacht rock.
Love a yacht rock. I cleaned a 90s rap. That's why I was asking.
Oh,
I like hip hop. It makes me clean. It's motivational.
who knew?
Who knew? Now you know. And last but not least, what we always ask on the show, what do you know so far?
I know that what you sometimes think is a horrible thing and that will break your life and break your soul and tear you down sometimes is the motivation you need to make the biggest change in your life. And you will look back at this moment and realize that it all did happen for you.
I love
Agreed.
everything about that. Sabrina Soto, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Trish. And Karen, what a pleasure.
Sabrina, my new friend. I know.
Karen, I cannot wait to hang out with you, but I'm just warning you now, if you start the doggy dialogue, we're going to have a problem.
It's okay. I'll protect you, Kay. Don't worry.
But Karen, don't worry. If you have a booger in your nose, I'm going to tell you right then and there.
Well, who could be a better friend?
I mean, honestly, she's the best of the best. Sabrina, will you tell everyone where they can find you? I know I'm asking you to be your own hype girl.
Instagram at Sabrina_Soto, because some lady in Brazil wanted to sell it to me and I just didn't.
I tried to broker it, but she seems
She
fake.
only speaks Portuguese.
I know it's tough.
And then
gosh.
Sabrina Soto everywhere else.
Sabrina, I'm very just grateful you took the time to come on with us.
Thank you, ladies.
I'm so proud of you. I'm
Thank you for having me.
excited. And Sabrina has a whole bunch of shows, and her book will be out soon too. But there's if you're not following Redesigning Life, which is her podcast, anywhere you get podcasts, please do give it a listen and a follow. It's phenomenal. I've done a few
Thank you.
episodes myself, but she has some really amazing guests on there. I'm actually listening to the Tapping Brad right now.
He's so good. Tap with Brad.
Have you ever tapped before, Karen? Do you tap with Brad, Karen?
No. I was raising my hand to say something for we
Please.
Oh.
No, I was just going to say that on your Instagram, you give some really great tips too. So people should follow your page just to get some awesome tips.
Thank you,
telling you.
Karen.
She
Thank you.
does stuff that I'm like, why didn't you tell me that? She's like, well, I figured you just like it on Instagram.
I'm going to do a series, just the tip.
Just the I mean, we are
On OnlyFans, and it's just my cleaning tips. There we go.
You guys, $1 billion idea. Although your cameos should be the OnlyFans where you just,
We're going to figure it out.
you're going to do great. We love you, girl. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, ladies.
Love you.
Bye, Sabrina.